Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely Friday night. So today I'd like to read an email that came from a subscriber of mine who owns a Tesla Model S. We're going to be redacting certain portions that he's asked to be redacted. This email is titled, Who Really Owns a Tesla? Hi Lewis, my name is Redacted. I'm from Redacted, and I'm a huge fan of your videos. Thanks for all you've done to put right to repair in the spotlight. I'm sure your successes in the USA will result in benefits to consumers in Redacted, even if the government here is too lazy to pass legislation of its own. I think I can leave in the part about their government being too lazy to pass legislation of its own. I sincerely doubt that that's going to narrow down which country I'm talking about here. But anyway, I've been having some issues with my 2014 Tesla Model S recently that I thought you might be interested in discussing on your YouTube channel. Like many other Tesla owners, I love the product, but I'm starting to hate the way the company treats its loyal customers. I know you're busy, so I'll try to keep it brief, but it's a bit of a long story. Here's two issues that have really gotten under my skin as far as Tesla ownership is concerned. Number one, a BMS issue. I have a 2014 Tesla Model S with an 85 kilowatt-hour battery, which still has about 6 months remaining on its 8-year battery warranty. The battery recently started behaving very weirdly. On a couple of occasions, while parked or charging, I saw the range fluctuate by plus or minus 15 kilometers every few seconds, which caused the charger to rapidly cycle on and off as the SoC bounced around and above the 80% limit. Following this, my 80% range has been very inconsistent, and the computer has logged several BMS U018 errors. I contacted Tesla service about the above and was told it's probably just calibration, and to give the battery a full charge-discharge cycle and see what happens. Surprise, surprise, the issue did not go away. So I connected a scanner to the CAN bus and found that one of the 96 bricks in my pack was reporting fluctuating voltage levels of the BMS. Further research confirmed I'm experiencing condition Z, a voltage sense failure in the battery management board, which Tesla hacker Jason Hughes writes about here. This is an absolutely amazing write-up here, and I think it's really well done, so I'll include a link to that down below. A Tesla technician eventually contacted me to follow up on my initial complaint and essentially confirmed Jason Hughes' finding above. He admitted that some early Model S packs can experience this BMS issue, and Tesla has attempted to mitigate it through a software patch, so that if the car detects this condition, it just tries to average out the readings of the faulty sensor, which does not appear to have worked in my case. Now, to be fair, Jason Hughes has said that most of the time that does work, but there are times where it doesn't, and on that page, Jason had suggested that at that point, Tesla deal with it by replacing the hardware. I presume the software patch is Tesla's attempt to kick the can down the road and ensure the failure of these packs is more likely to occur outside the warranty period. Either way, it seems like Tesla is unwilling to repair my battery pack, given that it hasn't failed completely. They state that capacity loss for the Model S and X isn't covered by warranty. The Model 3 has a 70% capacity guarantee, but my perspective is that this is a manufacturing defect in the BMS, not just natural capacity loss due to aging of the cells. I would tend to agree with him here. So, I did what any normal person would do and started weighing my options around whether I should sell or keep my car. I asked Tesla how much a new battery pack would be if mine were to completely fail outside of warranty, and they refused to provide an estimate, as they would rather not give an inaccurate estimate. Here's my main concerns, which I'm sure you'll understand. A small, let's say $20 battery management board within my $20,000 battery has failed inside the warranty period, and the manufacturer would rather hide the issue via a software patch than take responsibility and offer a repair. B, electric vehicles are always being touted as environmentally friendly, but the world's most successful electric vehicle manufacturer is willing to trash a $20,000 battery pack because they don't have a process to replace a few cents worth of components in a faulty BMS board. Also, they are more than willing to have the customer bear the cost of an entirely new pack for their manufacturing defects on a minor component within that pack. C, after updating my car to the latest software, I'm no longer receiving the BMS U018 error messages, but the symptoms of the issue remain. Presumably in the new software, the BMS errors are hidden from user-level view and can only be accessed via service mode, which is only accessible to Tesla service. So again, it's not giving you the message telling you something's wrong, but just because, just because you take a Percocet does not mean that whatever it is that's causing your pain has gone away. And again, there is a difference between your battery is old, the lithium cells are old, and the BMS board has a failure on it. Like, these are two separate things, and it really does bring up that question. If your capacity has gone down for a reason other than the lithium cells degrading, like a defect in the battery management board or the battery management system on the pack, should that be covered by Tesla's warranty, even if your capacity is not below the 70% limit? I obviously would be on the side of the customer there and say, yes, it should. But above all, the fact that they won't even give him an estimate for the cost to replace the battery. And keep in mind here, we're not talking about component level repair, because to my knowledge, Tesla is not offering component level repair services where it's, oh, it was easier to figure out the flaw in this one, so we'll charge you less for this board repair than that one. Or, oh, we only had to replace 2 lithium cells instead of, 10, so it's cheaper. Tesla only offers typically full pack replacement. So the fact that they're not able to give him a price for a flat rate service so that he could decide what to do is just a slap in the face. I mean, okay, it's one thing to sell a product that has a defect. It's another to not fix that defect within warranty. But once you will not fix that defect within warranty, to not actually give the customer the price as to what it would cost so that they can make some basic cost-benefit analysis as to what it is they should do with their vehicle, that's just, like, why? 2, vehicle config change. Tesla never offered HomeLink as an option for redacted Model S and X cars, but they do for Model 3. I asked my service center if I could purchase a HomeLink module to add to the functionality of my car, but they refused to sell me one. So I purchased one from eBay and installed it in the car myself. It just needs to be activated by a simple change to the car's configuration settings, but Tesla refuses to do it. So I think I found the answer as to who really owns the car that I paid for. In a few years' time, when people want to repair or modify these vehicles by installing parts from higher or lower models, like replacing a failed standard motor with a performance one, or upgrading a 60 kilowatt-hour battery to a 90 kilowatt-hour, they will need Tesla's blessing to update the configuration. It doesn't seem right to me. I'm the type of person that keeps something until it dies. My 1994 Honda is still going strong at 400,000 kilometers. But I have a feeling I'll be parting with this Tesla long before then. Sorry, that turned out to be a longer email rant than I was expecting. If you've made it this far, you've done well. Honestly, the thing about installing the HomeLink is not really it's annoying, but the real focus that I wanted to make here was on this Condition Z issue that he is having, and the fact that they are not willing to replace the battery pack, not willing to at least service the battery pack even within warranty. I'm not suggesting that they give him, all new cells for the entire thing, but if the defect is really with the battery management system, or with a stuck MOSFET, or with a wire that's not soldered on there properly in some way, shape, or form, to try to hide that behind software, I get it if it works, but if it doesn't work and the customer is experiencing a serious loss that is over 1 or 2% over this, and that it's like literally switching back and forth to the point where like the car finishes charging and then it charges, then it finishes charging, then it charges because it can't properly read it, that sucks. And, again, Jason goes over this really well in his post. It's several pages long. The absolute TLDR of it is that they try to mitigate the issue where it is not reading the voltage right in one particular pack by trying to figure, okay, here's what all the other pack voltages that we can read properly are reading. Here's the total voltage. Let's try and figure out what we guess that this missing one is, and guess that way. But again, if you do that, you're making a guess as to what this one is, which means that you are going to have a higher margin of error. Again, when you're talking about a pack like this, it's essentially only as good as the lowest charge group of cells. So you need to take that into account when calculating range. So if you have, let's say all of your cells are at 3.5 volts and one is at 2.8 and your cutoff is at 2.7, you don't have the amount of range you would expect with all of them being at 3.5. You have the range with the one that's at 2.8 that may drop to 2.6. Like with my bike batteries, if I have it massively misbalanced because I'm using 30Q cells like a moron because I cared about cheap high amperage output in the beginning rather than actual sustainability, but I have bad taste in lithium. But anyway, the BMS is going to shut the pack off even if every other group is good when that one group that's lower than everything else hits lower. Again, this being an aggregated measurement rather than a precise, accurate measurement because the system is acting wonky means that you don't really know you can't really tell 100% exactly what it is. That means there's going to be a higher margin of error. And Tesla did come up with a really, really interesting way to get around this, but at the end of the day, that is a software fix for a hardware problem. And I would suggest that if somebody paid $60 or $90 or $120,000 for that vehicle, and it is still within the warranty period, that a software fix that hides the hardware issue is not a fix. No, that's just not how this works. I think that they should either replace the battery for this individual or at the very least offer a component level fix. Now, I will give them the fact that taking the battery out of the car is a royal pain in the ass. Again, this is not like a battery in a cell phone. This is not even like a battery in an e-bike. This thing weighs over 1,000 pounds. You have a fireproof blanket and all this other crap that's in there that you got to dig apart to get to the BMS board. You got to figure out what's going on with it, but that's being a car manufacturer. Like, I mean, again, I have to take accountability and responsibility for the repairs and the services that I offer. It makes sense that they should have to do the same. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think this is an overblown issue, since for most people this is solved via software? Or do you think that if you have a hardware defect in a battery, and that battery is still covered under warranty, that they should not be able to weasel out of it by saying you're not technically below the capacity yet, when your problem is not so much a capacity issue as it is a hardware defect in the VMS that is failing. By the way, many of you have been asking me what I think of Tesla releasing service manuals, and I don't fix Teslas for a living, so it's really difficult for me to tell what is and is not relevant there. This would be like a Good Morning America or Verge reporter reviewing the Apple self-service repair program. You saw how many blood vessels almost burst while I was reading those articles, and I really don't want to do that to you. So I am going to be setting up a time to talk to Rich Rebuilds about this and get his in-depth and detailed opinion, because again, like, I fix MacBooks. I mean, I could look at these manuals, but I don't really know how useful those are until I actually speak to somebody who does this regularly for a living. And I'd like to make the time to do that. I was on vacation and admittedly scoping out places that it may be interesting to open a score once certain things that I'm dealing with right here in New York are finally done with. And I just wasn't making the time for that at that point because, well, I just kind of wanted to enjoy the sunset in South Florida. But I'll be doing that over the next few days. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.